specialized distributor nearby who is interested in expanding her business. Olivia proposes a deal. Erin agrees to provide training and sell quality inputs to farmers and in exchange buys back their produce at a fair price. This improves the supply of information about cultivation techniques and the benefits of high quality inputs. Distribution network and increase profits from additional sales of inputs and aggregated produce. What's more, the agreement increases productivity by creating new market relationships that better enable smallholder produce to get to market. So what was the key to success? Instead of proposing a short-term quick fix, Olivia uncovered the root cause of the problem by understanding the system and, together with its key players, found solutions for making the whole value chain work better. This resulted in increased income as well as better quality of work for Gill and other Timorese farmers, as well as other actors in the value chain. Cooperating with governments and NGOs worldwide, the ILO has applied this approach in many countries and sectors with sustainable success. Value Chain Development by the International Labour Organization.
Didn't get anything out of that. But before I talk, let's get responses. The mic, please. Let's get responses.
How many of you are really just thinking about value chain for the first time?
Hearing about it for the first time.
Not necessarily hearing about it, but I mean thinking about how it applies to you. Because we've had this challenge. We have a lot of people. I remember I listened to Vusi, and I also listened to our own Mr. Papas there when he was Bank of Industry. People will come in and they want to start a poultry farm, but they have never sold eggs. What's the purpose of a poultry farm? Think about it. What's the purpose of a poultry farm? To produce eggs to sell, right? Huh? Yeah. But you've never sold eggs. So you don't even know what the process is, what customers are asking for. You don't know the margin on the eggs, but you've already built a poultry farm. You've borrowed money from Bank of Industry, you built it, and now you're looking for somebody to come and take it off your ground. But you've never sold eggs before. That's because you didn't think the selling of eggs was part of your value chain. So that's why we want to get a response.
Yes, with regard to that, I ran into trouble with someone about 2 weeks ago. I produce black soap.
Yeah.
And the person came to me that he wants to learn. And I said, why don't you take samples of the soaps and go and market first? See your prospects, see your network, because that will determine your net worth. See whether you have passion and you can make money out of it through selling. And he got offended.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only looking for marketers for products. So how do we deal with this kind of mindset? Well, because you just thought I wanted to use it. I said for me as a producer, before I could have my profit, I will finish the batch, selling a batch. You as a marketer, when you sell only one, you have a profit already.
Exactly.
And yet, he felt so offended that I'm just looking for, I don't want to teach it.
That's the first thing we're doing now is education. Because I think people misunderstand when you tell them that. They get very, very angry. I remember this young lady in South Africa wanted to start a poultry farm. She did 10 million or 5 million rand. And the man said, I'll give you 100,000 rand to go and buy eggs and sell it. And if you can make a profit in 6 months, come back and sell it. I'm not even going to, they're not going to use it. I'm going to give you 100,000. I'm giving you 100,000 naira. I said, go and buy eggs and resell it. Because you will know the problem of storage. You will know the problem of if you don't sell the eggs in 3 days or 4 days, it will spoil. If you know what I mean. Those things you don't know anything about. So we have to do education. So this is what we're doing now. Is to explain to you that your business has a value chain. Then the next thing we're going to have to do also is something like there's a young man who came to me with starch. He got this big, brand new starch and other products. He brings it to me in my office. Nobody's buying my starch. I said, well, you don't have a reputation. I said, what's the name of your starch? His name is Maybe his name is Kunle. His name is Starch is Kusta. Who cares? Like Joshua said, so what? So I said, but that's food court. They have 5 branches. They have a shop. Why don't you put food court's label on your starch? And they give it to food court on sale or return. They won't charge you for shelf space. 30 days, you go back and collect whatever has been sold. They will test your market for you. But put food court, call it food court starch. What do you want? It's not starch you want to sell, but you wanted to sell cool starch. Because he doesn't understand that he's going through a system. Now, if he successfully does that, and Foodco is buying it, goes to ShopRite, ShopRite is buying it, put ShopRite's brand, of course he will make slight design adjustments of color or whatever packaging to make sure that nobody knows that it's the same. Most of you don't know that almost all the soap, toothpaste, and cream, body cream are made by only 2 or 3 companies in the world. All together, from Pepsodent to all of them are made by 1 or 2 companies. I'm telling you. Most of you don't know that Coca-Cola is the owner of Five Alive, is the owner of Water, is the owner of, they are the owner of Schweppes bottling. We think there's a diversity in the market. There is not. It's just a diversity of package and processes. So it's very important that you understand that you have to know. One of the things you can do for him is let them have their labels. They can take out your label and put their own. Brand it in their name if it's going to help them. You know what I mean? They can buy it from you, remove your sticker, put their name on it. No harm, no, as long as they paid you. So they should take it and repackage it, put their name on it, and then go. Yeah, that way they can really have a good, you know what I mean? You know,
yeah. I think first and foremost we need to understand the purpose. Maybe that will help us. Now, what is the purpose of having a value chain analysis? As it puts it on value chain development. Is the one is to increase production efficiency. Is to increase production efficiency in order for you to deliver maximum value at the least cost possible. No, to you. No, to you. It's to you. To number one is now look at it this way. This is it. When you talk about value chain, just in summary, value chain is in 3 parts. There are in-betweens. Because each part has its own business. The first part is whether you talk about service or product, whichever, 3 parts. Number 1 is production. Number 2 is distribution. Number 3 is market. You can now have in-betweens. You get it is depending on, if it is a service, you have to think about the creation of that service. Number 2, how do you distribute that service? Number 3, how do you market that service is supposed to go to? And each of these parts has its own part as well. But that's just in summary. So when you think about value chain is just the aspect of how do you increase production efficiency in such a way that you are able to deliver maximum value at the least cost possible. Now, you should reverse it. The first thing you should think about in business is how do I get into this business at the least cost possible, if possible, without me spending nothing. Can we make use of Dangote? How did Dangote get into food business? Was it by constructing the factory first or by trading?
Trading, contract.
Which one in terms of capital is less? Yes, everything. It started with trading. And afterwards, while he has created the market, that was when they walked back to production. And you know the challenge, and this is the mirage most of us have. The mirage we have is that you just engrossed in that thing. And I think, well, going back to the first class we had, which Joshua shared with us, is sometimes you have to tell yourself the blatant truth. So what? Who cares? You know the funny thing, people talk about NGOs. Do you know that NGOs have a revenue and expense structure? They don't call theirs profit, but they have surplus.
They have salary.
Because if they have expenses to meet, are you going to be paying the salaries from?
And they pay taxes.
You understand? So when you think that you are just going, no. It's called the social enterprise or social business, not necessarily to make profit, but to make impact. And you'll also find that even the model of social businesses are also changing.
Can we do a practical thing? Okay, taking what Mr. Ibe shared with us, with this concept of value chain. Let's pick a random thing, because one of the reasons why it's not always good to keep giving examples that are outside us there is that we seem as if we're not being realistic. Let's choose something. What problem do we want to fix around us now? Can we pick a problem that we think is valuable so all of us can contribute towards? Because I want us, before we leave today, to try and figure out the value chain around us. Because it will also help us to recognize where customers are. I particularly like what Mr. Ede did by training people for free to market his. Do you know there are no trainings anymore for draftsmen? Have you noticed that? There's no more training for us. That's a market we need to go back into. Yeah, but we can teach them on computers. We can teach them on computers now to become AutoCAD draftsmen rather than, you know what I mean? But nobody's doing that. There's a lady I know. She had been running her business. She has a fashion house. She's been running it for years, and she finally got LBS. Finally gave her Lagos Business School. Finally gave her a scholarship to come and attend. And I told her before I left, I said, by the time you get to LBS, you're going to discover that you make more money from training than selling clothes. So she didn't believe it until she did her calculation. Most people think they make more money from selling products, but training keeps lights on, keeps your overhead down. It's for you to go to make profit from your clothes. So what problem can we share with each other right now so that we can all walk through the value chain with him here before I call him in the room and to tell us what tools they think we can use to do this. Can we pick any? Can anybody give us any suggestion? You want to give us a? Anybody? Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike, please.
Before the mic gets to you, keep talking.
Yes. Now this is not my business.
Yeah, that's
I
my.
just want to talk about.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay. There's we wrote a book. Three of us. We wrote a book for pre-nursery children. The idea is that we found that now in our school, parents want children to write them. They feel if I pay money and the child is not writing, I'm just in Nigeria, the child is not writing, it's not writing ABC before 2, what am I paying? So I try to tell the teachers that no, there's something else. In other places where they do jets, they go to the moon, they don't start writing until 4 or 5. So you that you have been writing since 6 months, what have you not solved the tutor problem and all that? So there was parents say you are not doing anything and all that, but because of that conflict, I kept pushing back. Let's find something to do. So we and the three of us, we came up with the book, workbook. Now we wrote the book. There was this man that supplies us book for commentary. So he said they want to write a book. I said we have a book. So long and short, he wants to publish our book. But the big problem is this: I had to get involved in it. Because after they design everything, they have sent people to markets. They have marketers in the Lagos State or your state and all that. But they need money to produce. They are value, of course, the value chain, okay. Authors are part of the value chain. But to produce the books, marketers have sent people, but to produce the book, as I'm telling you right now, he's still looking for money. There are orders coming, he cannot produce. So I get to one Baba. I maybe not one Baba. The Baba is posting and posting. The man has got money. But the problem is there's no collateral. It shows them if the business something and all that. They don't have landed property, but they are goodwill and all that. But this business needs to produce. There's an order right now for some of the books of that company. He can't produce. And of course, I know my stake there is like 2%. Because my books also are hanging. If you cannot produce my books can go. I'm marketing the books too. But more so for him, if he misses this year, he's not here. If he misses this year and he's appoint all those hundreds of schools that he has promised to produce books, nothing is, I mean, his best as good as them. So I'm just, of course, if this, he needs about 3 million. Okay.
But that's really not bad.
Okay. So that's the problem.
But you haven't, that's my challenge. I don't think you have addressed the problem that people have and they want to solve. Because right now, there are many books in the market that teach people how to write. There are many. From when I was a kid, to when my kids were kids. There are many books. And they've not been disproven not to work well. Number two, you have what is called publishers, like Evans Publisher, so on and so forth. The challenge with most people is that Evans may take up to 80 or 70% of your profit margin. You know what I mean? Because they're responsible for production and distribution. You see, one of the things people don't know about Evans and all these people at Oxford, these guys have offices in Kutumbura, in Kanuri Village, in Lori, in Edo State, in my local government in Edo State. They've been distributing in this country for over 50 years. They know how to get these things out. But we don't like to do that. For instance, the first batch, when they 100,000 copies, you only get 5 naira, 20 naira. You know what I mean? It's a very tiny percentage. The more quantities because they will be responsible for printing, packaging, delivery, and distribution and sales. They also have to deal with the issue of piracy. And the easiest way to beat a pirate is to continue to produce that book at such a low level that it's too expensive for the pirate to copy. So they can't increase their prices until they push the pirate out of the business. So nobody wants to go along those plans because they say, why should the company that is publishing the book be taking more profit than me? It's like music industry. They are the ones who are taking the risk.
I have no issue.
No, I'm saying those are available channels. If they can convince Evans that there is a potential market for that book and they've gotten orders, I'm promising you, Evans, all these other people will take this job from you. They will reduce your margin, no doubt, but it will only be for the first batch production for them to cover their costs. After which they will increase your margin later. So what I'm saying is that is a problem for that publisher. I'm asking you, what are the societal problems that we need to solve? You want to say something?
Yeah, I was thinking if we can only look at the big markets.
Yes, I'm saying we're talking about. I'm not asking for what are the problems of you entrepreneurs. You entrepreneurs have problems. Even if you don't want to create them. So I'm saying, what are the societal problems that we can address here as an example of how to build the value chain and understand our customers? What are the problems?
Sorry, Pastor, just before that, just to say something about that, I think the first thing is sitting down, even with that challenge, is sitting and looking at the value chain around even that production. That's the first thing. What's the value chain around it? Number one is writing the book, which is author, which most likely you are the one that will do that. Number two is printing. You have a printing company. Do you understand? That is number two. Number three is distribution. So you can take printing and packaging together. Distribution. And number four is the market itself. Now, once you're able to itemize that in that way, then you're able to now see, just like now, you can now do a SWOT analysis based on that. Where is my strength? Where is my, obviously, where you don't have a printing press, that would be a challenge. Which means that if you want to visit a printing press, you have to go along with your money, and unfortunately, you don't have capital. So that now forces you to now look at who can I partner with that is in that field. Because obviously, the printer or the publisher you want to partner with also doesn't have some of those things. That's why it's having a challenge.
There's no money for him to print.
No, it's not the issue of there's no money. Does he have a printing press?
No, they print for him.
Do you understand? So that means he doesn't own that. So that would be a challenge if he doesn't have the money to run things. So what also tells us that he won't have the challenge with marketing and distribution.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't like.
Okay.
They have agents all over.
All over.
All over. Well,
So that means that's a strong point.
Yeah. Well, you cannot produce. You have
No, don't get it wrong. I'm trying to say that now if you look at this from the value chain, you see where the problem is. You can now look at what is already existing. Oh, should we go and meet Evans? If we are going to meet Evans because they have a a printing press, let's go and meet Evans. Are we ready to agree on a pay cut from our profit which Evans will take? Because so you can now see where the SWOT analysis even comes to play, even in these things. But the challenge is that all that you are focused on right now, we have the market, and we just want to produce the books, and you have the capacity to produce it because one aspect of that value chain is missing, which is a crucial point before you do the rest.
They don't do it very much in this country. Abroad, like you tell them. You get into a shop, they will say save 70%. You get into a shop, this chair used to be 100,000, we're selling it for 30,000. Save 70%. They're lying. You're not saving anything. You're spending less, but you're still spending. 20% of 1 million naira is 200,000. 10% of 1 million naira is 100,000. Do you know what 0% of 10 million naira is? All that money you think you're going to make is theory. Because you haven't put any money on the line. So you can say this thing has a potential. It doesn't. Until money has been spent, then you will know whether it's because the risk increases. Most of us are not willing to push out our risks. You know what I mean? To other people to say, listen, I'll give you 20% of this if you print this. I have this order. You can even supply. You know what I mean? But we want to hold on to as much of the margin as we can. And don't understand that until our money is involved, the person who's putting the money is taking the higher risk than you. Ultimately. And that's why this idea of analysis is so important. That's why I'm happy you brought it up again. Is to run numbers. So look, some of these things I'm saying, they're not really academic performances. They are mental. The mental. I can tell you about the inverter. I want to buy an inverter, 600,000 for that, 400,000 for the inverter, 1 million naira. How long will it last? I get 1 year warranty from me. I'll push you for 2. I go and calculate my cost of NEPA every month. I pay an average of 50 to 60,000 a month on NEPA. I don't know how to do it. I pay as much as I pay in the office. I pay 50,000 a month. I pay 60,000 at home. Because the freezers are always on. Yeah. It's too much. Yeah, I have 2 inverters. I have freezers. They're always charging. Then because you don't know whether the NEPA is coming, you leave all your water heater on. And NEPA now stays for 12 hours, which has never happened, or 15 hours. And then you don't know whether if you put it off, you forget. And then NEPA comes and you forget to put it on. So you know all those things, the bad habits now we're stopping them. You know what I mean? I go to every room, put up the heaters, make sure everything is off. When I come back, I put on the heater so that it won't have. Because when NEPA comes in the afternoon, the heater is going to take electricity. There's nobody. Yeah. And the freezers are always on. So I look at it and I say, okay, wait a minute. I'm not writing any proposal. I'm not bringing up the calculator. I'm doing everything in my head. So this is going to cost me, how many years is this going to last? Because 200,000 installation, rewiring of my house, 1.2 million. How long? 2 years. I will get 2 safe years. But the inverter itself, 400,000, I'm not replacing. That's permanent. I will do insurance for that one if it burns. You know what I mean? So I'll add that to the 1.2 million. You know what I mean? I'll do fire insurance, I will do damage insurance. All that will be part of my 1.2 million. So it comes out to 100,000 naira a month if that thing lasts only 1 year. If it can last 4 years that he promises me, it has come down to how much? 2,500. A month. So why am I killing myself? For 25,000, I'm paying less per 60. I will guarantee myself 24 hours electricity. That's a good investment. But if I don't have 1.2 million, I can go to him and say, okay, I will give you 50,000 every month. You see what I mean? Yes. And you supply me. Since you give me a guarantee, you give me 1 year to pay. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Or that way, he's taking the risk with me, but he will say, if you're going to give me 50,000 a month, we have to increase it to 1.3 or 1.4 or even 1.5. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Then we both have a business deal. I'll be giving you 60,000. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. I will keep throwing all those options. But all I'm saying is that this is not rocket science. I don't need to go and employ him to say, come and do this for me. Some of you don't have cars because you think it's not cost effective. It's because you've never calculated how much to spend on a car. I have a car. I had a car. It was taking 10,000, 8,000 a week for I got another car that's taking 5,000 naira a week. Calculate my cost, divided by that 5,000 naira a week. I'm not even adding convenience. And I hear Okada now is 100 naira, 200 naira to move around. So some of you are paying 500 naira a day for transportation, right? Yes. Am I right? Yes, sir. Sometimes more. 500 naira a day times 7. That's 3,500. You're already paying for my phone. I don't know, and I can go to more places more conveniently than you, and my customers have more confidence in me than in you. Because I came in my car, you came in. That's data. It's just simple data analysis. You know what I won't do? If I'm a businessman, I won't even buy a car. I'll buy a truck. So that when I'm at work, they can hire it out to carry load. So that takes care of fuel, that takes care of
in a sense, that's value chain.
So I would buy a truck to pick up so double carry.
Sorry, that's value chain for the truck.
For the truck, yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm at work from 9 to 5. So why do I need the truck? Okay, I'll get the driver, you're gonna be carrying load. I've already put a WhatsApp group, I've put a Facebook page, you need to move goods around there. By the time he comes back in the evening, he has paid for my fuel, he has paid for my maintenance, he's paid for the driver's salary, and I have suppers. Driver, you don't work on Sunday, but 3 and I are going to church on Sunday. 5 of us will squeeze to the back, and when you finish with them, we'll stand at the back. Those of you who have 8 children, God bless you. And then we drive all of them to church and look like a hero. Then after that profit, you buy a decent car, leave that one. We don't calculate things. You can't buy Mercedes Benz or BMW. Wherever you have arrived to win, you have to buy the thing. You have to buy brake parts. You have to buy this. You have to buy oil. You have to do that. You're not finding other ways to do it. When I built a ladder once. When TNT, when they were still doing telephone with ladder repairs, I built a ladder and just packed it somewhere, and I could get 500 naira a day from the ladder. Somebody will always have to fix something in his house. So they come and rent my ladder. Now before they were bringing all those mechanical, a bit out of wood because I have a furniture factory. They'll be doing events in the hall of my university. I'll go and buy Capri-Sun and ice block and I will sell it to you. I'll buy it from the black market in school for 100 naira and sell it to you at the place at 150. It's frozen, you're sweating, and you don't want to walk to black market. You will buy my drink at your entrance of your shop. And I'm making it. And I have no money. I'll go there, drop my ID card with the woman who has the Capri-Sun and the woman who has the ice block. I have no capital. I'll just beg them and buy it. If we need 100 cartons, if we need ice block, if we need book, I'll carry it in front of them, send it, go back, give them their money, collect my ID, and put my 50 naira in my pocket for the weekend. It's not rocket science. I don't know if you get my point. We've made it into something really complicated with our PowerPoints. You know what I mean? It's not. It's just analyzing before you step out. What are all my options? Have I looked at all of my? Then ask, discuss with people. solve this problem somewhere. How did they solve it? That's what technology is. The first technological breakthrough we had was the printing press. Have you ever wondered why? Somebody could write an idea in Russia or in England, and somebody in Africa could read it and repeat that experiment in Africa and succeed in it. So that's why books, when books came out, they were the greatest thing. Then the next revolution we had was the construction of roads. What we used to do was, Nigeria, if you know what Gowon did with the oil boom, he built the greatest network of roads on any African continent. This continent was one. So you could do business from Port Harcourt to Lagos, from Lagos to Kano to this. There were rail lines, everything crisscross. The first thing every African government came after was abandon that, not realizing that roads are highways. That's why when the internet came up, we called it the internet super highway. We didn't call it internet. Highway is a communications network where information and goods and services can be transferred between two nodes. Now we can do it at the speed of light. And so now you're moved from that to technology. That's all. So now I can Google and find out what somebody in India is doing for this same problem I'm going through. I just write it there. I don't know how to publish my book for free. Physically, don't forget to put physical because they're ECommerce. And then right here, solutions needed. Right, particularly from India, /India. Just see that if you don't get less than 10,000 answers, I don't know what happens. Nobody wants to do that work. And like he said, you're not understanding the value chain. When I was in Jesus' embassy, I remember there's this young lady, she got a contract. Let us fast and pray for 7 days. She did about 5 million naira. She never told me what the contract was, and stupidly, I was praying and fasting without a fight. Finally, at the end of the day, what are you looking for the 5 million? She said, I got this supply of diesel and I'm looking for capital of 5 million. I said, why did you make me pray for 5 million? I picked up my call and I told somebody who I know who owns the petrol station. I said, somebody here has an order for diesel. I beg you, you know what? She's going to write a letter to the company to domicile payment with you. In other words, her check is to be issued out in your name. Please supply her the 5,000 and then collect your money out of the 20 minutes and give her refund. We didn't need to pray. Yeah, and he was looking for somebody to buy his diesel anyway, but you give her a discount so that you can make it magic. But make sure that the check is written in his name because we don't want her to run away and I have to now start praying and fasting for her to come back. Those are things we need to take into serious. I'm not saying this analysis and not textbook analysis. It's developing a habit of being analytical about when you want processing whatever you want to do. And when you come into your business, don't come into your business as an owner. Come into your business as a customer. Have you noticed you will walk into a place, you don't know where reception is? How many of you have traveled out of the country? When you get to Lagos Airport, have you noticed nobody knows which one is immigration and which one is customs? You get there, you go to this desk and tell you, go to the other desk. Have you seen that happen? Or if you go to that office, no, all they needed to put in that office is when you arrive, go to desk 1, collect the signboard. When you finish in desk 1, go to desk 2. Submit that document, then go to desk 3 and pay. Nobody will tell you anything in any secretariat in Nigeria. And people will come in every morning and ask 50 times. A woman that is sitting in the Igbo law, and she's happy to tell you. After she's sitting on the jam and she's picking her teeth, happy to tell you, she doesn't think that she will save herself trouble if she just puts signs on the wall telling you what to do when you don't have to ask her. I'm asking you, do you have that in your business? If I visit your Facebook page, can I find you? Will I know what you do without having to fast and pray? So these are things we need to. I want to talk to you about the value chain. Let's take this value chain thing a little further. So we want to solve the problem. Let's solve the problem of the fact that our children in this country do not go to school with school standards. Have you noticed that the average child in Nigeria wears second-hand clothes?
Even the adults, sir.
They buy it in sacks from abroad. I don't even know whether they wash them. They sell them at Banjo in the market. People buy them, take them home and wear it. Now, in my time and in my father's time, it was flour mill sacks we were using to make trousers and shirts. In other words, when the flour mill people were importing flour mill, they used to bring in a lot of bags, granules, all that. So the fabric they used to cover the flour mill sacks, they would cut it up and sell it in the market. At least we knew that those clothes were not coming from other human beings. Because a lot of times, especially in India, some of those clothes come from dead people. Some of them come from people who have carried diseases. In other words, somebody died of chickenpox. You take the clothes off, you wash it, you don't disinfect it. You send it to Nigeria, somebody else wears it here, she gets chickenpox. And you say, where did she get it from? They found out a few months ago, now I'm not an authority on this, that it was likely that COVID had entered Nigeria a long time before it was officially entered Nigeria. And we had already begun to develop herd immunity against it. Because they can't understand why we had such low cases. So let me ask you that. You just said it, even adults have to wear second-hand clothes. I have no problem with you wearing second-hand clothes. I just have a problem with you wearing second-hand clothes and you don't know where the source is. It may end up giving you more problems than solving the problem. You can't go to the shoe. So when last did you see any school with uniform shoes? When I was in Aberdeen, I was in Our Lady of Apostles in Lagos. We had standard Clark sandals or Bata. Cortina shoes. Yeah. Remember that? Okay? So we have, now what I'm saying is this. Now please hear me out. They are already buying shoes in the market. But they buy those shoes for, 1,500, 2,000, right? Huh? I'm asking.
The used one or the
used one, imported one.
Yes, 1,500.
For children. Yeah.
1,500.
Great.
I'm just asking, yeah, okay, just give me an idea of the price.
1,000, 1,500,
Yeah, it has to be 1,000, 1,500. How do I know? Because people only spend a certain percentage of their salary for school fees and children's fees. It's not, you're earning 20,000 naira. You won't spend more than 1,000 on shoes. It's not a matter of not rocket science. So I'm asking you, the only way I think, if I was a poor person and you offered me a brand new pair of shoes for 1,500, you offered me a Tukumbo used pair of shoes for 1,500, which one will I choose? Come on.
If it's car parts, you won't go for it.
Huh? No, I'm just saying, so your biggest challenge is that whatever you want to produce, whether it's clothes, shoes, or whatever, has to be such a low price that they will abandon the cheaper option that's coming from China. That's the point I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to tell you, I'm saying I'm analyzing the problems that are on the ground. If I want to go into the shoe market in this country, and I want to aim at the lower market because I feel more people will do it. Now, what if their parents were involved in the manufacture of the shoe? You think they'll buy it? Like Ford Motor Company, when they were involved in the manufacture of the cars, and they could own the cars. You think they'll you see what I mean? So I'm saying, is it possible to come up with a mechanism? I don't know if you get the point, by which you are not the one going to produce it. You come up with a prototype, you know what I mean? You come up with the raw material sourcing, you do all that. They produce it, you buy it from them. So it's a matter of productivity. So I'm going to get it from you for 1,000. I'm going to transport it for 200 or 150. And I'm going to resell it to other schools and organizations for 1,500. So my margin is, let's say, 200 naira at the end of the day. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. But you are the one who's manufacturing it. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. You are the one producing it. And I'm paying you well so that, because I'm paying you per shoe. So you're earning more money. You can do it part-time. And I'm only buying what you produce and you're giving to me. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Now, I'm just giving this as a scenario as to the fact that whenever you come up with a solution, to a problem, you can ultimately create jobs. I don't know if you get the point. For instance, one of the first gentlemen I met here was a company that was doing eggs, and they couldn't supply enough eggs. There's a guy in Ibadan who produces tomatoes in a greenhouse. So they are always producing every 30 days or 90 days. They always harvest in their greenhouse. Every day they harvest. Now they found out that there's a hotel in Lagos that will buy all the tomatoes, even before they grow it. The whole of Oyo State's agricultural infrastructure right now cannot supply Lagos. I didn't say cannot supply Nigeria. I said cannot supply Lagos. The whole of Oyo State, the current status that we have, we cannot supply the tomatoes that Lagos, let me not say Lagos, Mile 2 in Lagos buys. I think they do about 300-400 million every day at Mile 2 in vegetable products. Is that not a good problem to have? So this guy who's producing eggs, he couldn't meet his supply. You know what he started to do? He said, okay, I want to go to every house in the world. Anybody who's willing will give you everything you need to start producing eggs. We'll give you chicken, we'll give you stock, we'll give you food, and we'll buy up every chicken, every egg that you produce. We will also train you. Yes, but not educators. How do you train them? So they have to change their business model. They have to teach in Yoruba. You know what I mean? They have to face the village rather than the town because they didn't have space. And they were ashamed to be seen selling chicken and eggs. I don't know if you got the point I'm making. So they have to move to the villages and the town instead of getting them involved in the production. But up to today, they couldn't put business plan. Bottom line, let me come back to the fact that we have food challenge is also a reflection of the fact that we also have great solutions. The Chinese ambassador to Nigeria said they have never seen the kind of business opportunities that are available in Nigeria that Nigerians cannot see. The first set of tiles I ever put in the church, I bought them at 5,000, 4,000 naira per tile, not per square meter. Yeah. Black tiles made in wood. One tile was 4,000 naira. Now you can buy a square meter of tiles for 2,000 or 1,000. What? The Chinese crashed the market, reduced the quality of the tiles, made it affordable, like Infinix made the Samsung phone affordable. We have to learn to bring things down to the level of the people we're serving. If we're creating a new market, if we're competing in existing markets, like you said, in Vata market, then you have that price structure. I don't know if you get the point. But as far as other people are concerned, they don't want solar panels that will run everything in their house. They just want solar panels that will give their children lights for to light up the house, to listen to radio or watch television, to wake up in the morning and brush their teeth, or to operate a fan. They're not looking for the kind of inverter that I was calculating at 1.2 million. If I give it, there's a group of people there's a book called Fighting Poverty. The one the recent Nobel Prize. So I got the book. And the lady said they found out that one of the biggest problems Africans had was sicknesses and mosquito bites were affecting their productivity. And so they decided to give a family in Kenya money to buy mosquito nets, buy spray, buy healthy food, buy vitamins and all that, and see how they would do over a period of 6 to 9 months. So when they arrived, they had got flat screen television, generator, and that when you try to change people by force, what people are looking for is not what you are selling to them. Stop selling to people what is your opinion about what they need. You need to find out exactly what they want and give it to them at a price that they can afford. It's not up to you to tell them they have to upgrade. Somebody just said the quality of the one that is imported is better. No, the one that is imported lasts longer than the one we make here. So one of the things you're going to make sure that the shoe you are producing for this country lasts long. The Pampers, they went to China to sell Pampers the way they were selling it in Nigeria. You know, 1,000, one of my kids was 1,002. I don't know. I'll tell you how old my kids are. They used to buy Pampers and sell it. So they tried to sell Pampers in China, nobody bought it. They reduced the price of Pampers, nobody bought it. The Chinese couldn't be bothered, they were using napkins. Fold the napkins, put the baby in, put pain, clean the baby afterwards, but they have a problem. The way we have problems with water and all that stuff. So finally, somebody came up with an advert. Very funny. They've been trying to sell it for a long time. First of all, they stopped selling the Pampers in packet. They started selling them one by one. So you have to stop. You know, you don't have to buy a pack of 10 or 12. You can buy one. So you can buy 2 and go home. Like they do with sachet of milk. Remember, nobody was doing that until Cowbell came and started doing that. So they started selling Pampers one by one. Then number 2, the advert they did an advert that said, they showed the video of a man and his wife who for the first time had sex after their child was born. Because it was the first time the baby slept through the night. The sales of Pampers, people just started going to buy Pampers just because they wanted to have sex with them. Can you see the thing? You almost think that it had no relation to do with the Pampers. It had to do with the parents having a good night's sleep. That's how complex the human's nature is. What has, because some people will pay anything. I have an inverter, not necessarily for electricity because I have a generator. I have it for peace of mind. When the power goes, I don't have to. I don't even know when the power goes, except my air conditioner goes off or my freezer goes off. When the power comes back, I don't know. I can sleep, wake up, leave the house, have my mother in the house. I don't have to worry whether her fan is not on. I know 24/7. I have a solar panel on the top of my head, so I know during the afternoon to do chop my energy before I come back. Do you see what I mean? My reason for buying an inverter is different from somebody else. You must find what your customer is looking for. Sometimes it's peace of mind. You know when I call Mr. Ebe, 12 midnight, I can call Mr. Ebe, my inverter is down, I need to prepare by tomorrow. They will send the team of people here in the morning. They won't ask me for money. It's when they have finished and my inverter is working, they will send me a bill. That's relationship. And I bought over 8 inverters from him because of that. His price is the same. I can get the same inverter from my brother-in-law. But the service he offers is what makes me choose him, not his price. Because the difference is really 5,000, 10,000. And it's not going to Lagos to buy something for 10,000 because we have an accident. So, are we done with value chain? You have a better perspective. All right? So, which one of you want to say something? Joshua, do you have anything to do? Would you have anything to do with us? And any questions you want to ask? Next week, we want you to kickstart whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? I want you to kickstart. Yes, ma'am.
What are the sort of question process? What is the process?
She has is
Understand what
there's just a specification of
the market wants.
market now.
How do you see
Oh.
what process is to know that the parents respond to the nice?
We did,
I have 1,000 ideas.
flash.
Concept, but maybe
It's not. Technology has actually made it a lot easier. We had a German who works with one of our colleagues, one of our guys in ECommerce. They have a website called Wakanda Market. Still trying to get in touch with them because of COVID. He had gone back to Germany for a while. One of the things he told us at the first ECommerce summit is, what do you think all those questions on Facebook are or Instagram? Ask questions. I have this product. Would you buy it for 500 naira, 650, or 1,000? Of course, you have to add. If it has this, would you buy it for? You know what I mean? If I added this, would you? That simple survey you put on Facebook, people will click on one thing, and Facebook analysis will tell you what the results are. Or Instagram. I don't know if you get the point. Just ask. There's a video I want to show about that woman who's going to. This is the chairman of Pepsi in India. I want you to listen to what she said. But before she found that, that's why your phones, most of you don't know that your phones are one of the most powerful tools. Everybody open up to your WhatsApp page. Assume you want to send me a WhatsApp message. So if you don't know my name, choose your enemy. Prepare a WhatsApp message for your enemy. My enemy today is New Streams Concept Facility Manager. So I've set it up to talk to him. Now, if you notice on your WhatsApp, there's a plus button on the left, right? Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see the plus button on the left of your WhatsApp? And you must be trying to talk to somebody before you type the message. Huh? Some of you don't even have WhatsApp.
I don't have any plus.
Everybody has a plus sign.
$3.
Yeah, that's fine. It depends on which operating system you use. What do you see? No. No, I have camera, photo, video, room, document. You see that? Do you see location there? Huh? Do you see location? Do you know your customer could just press that location and send it to you, and you could easily send the photo back to them? You notice that? That's on your phone.
Is the attachment?
Somebody is just have something like a sign, like do you see all the things that are there? You can send your location. Somebody wants to come and teach you, somebody wants to come and, somebody wants to leave you. You can actually get their location from your WhatsApp. This is just a tool on your phone. Do you know that even junior and older workers don't know how to use Google Maps?
Both.
Do you think there's a huge market in teaching Okada drivers on how to locate their customers using?
And both drivers as well.
Even both drivers don't know. Do you know how much petrol they burn going to the wrong place? This is just on your phone. What's wrong of Instagram or Facebook or Google Forms, the one you just did? Just talk to your friends and family. Put all your options there. Let them click. Try to be disassociated from the survey. In other words, don't get emotional about the survey. Some of you are going to have a report about us, our performance. We don't care what you say about them. Because we have to look at the results. So and you cannot tell your family what you are doing on behalf of somebody so that they don't have to say positive things. Now, please, nobody's asking you to depend on that result. For instance, I think it was Ford who said, no matter if you had asked people at that time, if they wanted the car, they would have all said no. They would have said they wanted faster buses. Because they didn't have a conception of cars. As a matter of fact, cars were killing more people than buses at one particular stage. Then the government had to come up with rules: drive on the right, don't overtake, right? You know, that's how they stopped the killing. You know what I mean? They start putting mild spikes. So some products don't look obviously successful from the day you put the advert out there. You must be able to see the disadvantages you're getting from the report. You know what I mean? Now, let me put it this way. If I wanted to advertise the Arts and Culture Center, and I was talking to you about it, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, the old me would have said, I'm starting an arts and culture area in New Springs, come and join and all that. I won't doubt. I would say, are you a struggling artist? You see what I mean? Do you need a place to exhibit? Are your peers not recognizing you? Have you been cheated out of awards? I'm going to go on all your negativity. You know what I mean? To market my product. I'm identifying with you first. I'm trying to tell you that you are in trouble. You need me. I don't know if you get my point. The old me would have said, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, you must come and join it, it's good for you. Nobody cares. It's good to me. I'm a struggling artist. Nobody has bought my artwork for the last 10 years. This man might have something for me. I don't know if you get my point. You see the difference? So I can do that on social media. Are you a struggling artist? Would you join the corporation? Are you a struggling artist? Would you like to be part of it? You know what I mean? And from that data, if 100 artists, 100 artists decide to respond to my questionnaire, and 70 of them say that they will join, what does that tell me? I don't know if you got the point I mean. If I say, will they be willing to pay a fee, and 20 or 20% of them say they won't, sorry, they will, I know I'm already in trouble for fee side. I don't know if you get the point I mean. If I say, would you like to share your profits with me, and 80% of them will say, yes, if I don't have to pay, then I know that going in the direction of, you see what I mean? I can do that on Facebook alone. And I'll make sure that the only people that can join it would have had to say that they are artists. Because I can put a question before you join the group. That are you an artist? If you're not an artist, please don't fill this form. So if you lie, you're still a liar. I'll give you a chance to make sure that you don't, you know that if you lie on this side, you're a liar. That's what I'm just, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but people don't care, I know that. But you see, this is something. I was in England many years ago, and there was a court case about this Nigerian woman. She spoke, she was in trouble with the government, and she got into a lot of trouble, tax issues. So she kept telling the judge, oh no, it was because of this and this and that. So finally, she told this big story. The judge said, madam, I know older than your husband, or your husband older than you. She said, ah, I tell you that I'm older than my husband. Just said, why did you write on paper that the husband was older than you? Ladies is in Nigeria, be very fast in things. Because our culture. It's not good for, and of course the British judge doesn't know anything about Nigerian culture, which is a lie. You know what I mean? But the speed at which she answered made the judge overlook all her life. But he said, you've already established a pattern of lying, which is not good. You know what I mean? So consequences will always come up on that. She had lied about her husband's age when they were entering England, not knowing that the court case was going to bring up all that. Because she was smart on her feet, she managed to escape. I don't even know how far she escaped. You know what I mean? Because now she'll have to go and change it on all. And some people will not be that friendly anymore. You know what I mean? Especially when the husband. You understand what I mean? So the point I'm trying to make is don't worry if people lie. It's on them, not on you. You know? So I'm just trying to show you what your phone can do. They know that you can actually do reminders on your phone. I hope you know that. Some of your reminders can actually allow you to, it can remind you 2 hours before the event, 1 hour before the event, 5 minutes before the event, even a day or two or a week before the event. We'll just send you a reminder there's an event going on. Not calendar, you can use calendar, you can use some messaging apps, you can use many even apps that do that. What I'm just saying is that this is technology. But we always think technology is one complicated, complex house. Ask questions. Take them to your church or your mosque or your swimming pool and distribute them. Tell people to fill it quickly. Give them a bottle of Coke for filling it. You know what the people don't give them sweet. Because the Coke is too expensive. Give them, if you fill this one, I'll give you one. What's that name of that black and white? They'll fill it for you. I don't know if you got my point. You check the information you need. But don't depend on the information. Your biggest, whatever, your guts. Your information is to reinforce what your gut is telling you. And then sometimes the questions you ask are just as important as the answers you get. You know what I mean? One of the things one of our speakers said to you about 2 weeks ago was, whenever you give a customer one option, he will say no or yes. If you give him 3 options, okay, if I build this house for you, and I'm no supervisor, you pay me once. If you pay my fees, I'll be there every week to supervise. You know what I mean? But if you allow me to build and construct, you know what I mean? I'll help you cut down on materials. You have to give him the advantages of each thing. And then this is the biggest mistake when I was running this place. Always put a value to what you are saving them. I used to tell people that, for instance, if you book the Great Hall, which is about 450,000, okay, I would, for a wedding on a Saturday, I would allow you to use the garden hall for free for your engagement. I'll publish it. Nobody will come. I made one fundamental mistake. Even then it was 300,000 and the garden hall was 150 at that time. The mistake I made, it was so stupid, was I never told them the value of the garden hall. So when I now changed it to, if you book the Great Hall for 300,000, I will give you the garden hall that is 150,000 for free. They now started booking it. Because of the value they presumed they were getting. I don't know if you get the point. And guess what? Many of them didn't use it. You'll be surprised. That's when you go to a buffet and they say, eat like you like. Just they know your stomach has a size. If there's going to be 2 or 3 people that can eat more, they know. They've already made their profit. They calculated that 50 of you paying 10,000, they've covered their profit. And if the food is finished, what are they going to tell you? What are you talking about? Rice to toilet jail. What are you going to do? So you must build in those things into your thinking. Am I making sense? It allows you to pull in people that you don't know, but put a value. Why you the architect? Put a value. Don't assume they know what 10% is. No, 10% worth. You know what I mean? Put a value. Let them know. What I give you for food this afternoon is 1,000 naira. That's value. I spent 1,000 on each of you. I'm a nice man. No, I'm not. I'm investing. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm investing. I'm introducing you to our catering service. Again, I noticed that none of you didn't throw anything away, except the wrapper. So that means that you don't have shawarma is okay. You know what I mean? And when I looked at it, I thought it was much better than rice. It settles less on your stomach. And they said, you know, I'm doing an experiment with you. So my 10,000 naira or 15,000 naira investment, I'm getting a result from it. You know what I mean? But as far as I'm concerned, it's an investment. I haven't lost it. One of you is going to give me money when you make a profit. You're going to remember me, Abby? Yeah. I may be 65, but you remember me. So Joshua, you want to add anything? You want anything you want? Any other question? Yeah, the video. Let's watch this video.
Videos.
Standard set of consulting reports, you actually are going to do your company a big disservice. And our CEOs and leaders have to be lifelong students. And not just students in the sense of attending courses or reading a book or two. You've got to learn how to read widely, walk the market, look at trends in the marketplace, make connections that don't seem obvious, and start to paint pictures of what the future could be. And then watch consumer behavior. I'll give you an example. 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, if you came to PepsiCo and looked at all the beverages that were being served on the side tables when we're having meetings, most of the people would be consuming full sugar beverages. About 10 years ago, the trend shifted, or maybe 20 years ago, they were drinking full sugar. 10 years ago, they shifted to diet drinks. Okay? But 5 years ago, they were drinking more bottled water. Now, the point that I make to my guys is, guys, you don't need to hire a consultant to tell you where the trends are. You just have to look at our side table. Remember the number of facings we used to have for regular sugar Pepsi versus diet Pepsi versus bottled water now? If you're all drinking bottled water or drinking 0-calorie beverages, why do we think we're not representative of the consumer? Very often, I think what happens is we separate out the consumer out there from the consumer in us. We are the consumer. And the more we can bring the two together and say, we too are representative of the consumer outside, I think it will be better. We go out and, our children playing with other children, we see other families, and when they moderate certain products that we sell in terms of what's given to kids, that's a trend. Okay, so we've got to watch all of these things. And too often, I think, us leaders think what consultants tell us or what certain reports say or certain books say is the gospel. It's really not. We have to become our own data collectors, data analyzers, and then shape creators. And I think that's the toughest thing, because people who are rewriting the rules have to create the shapes. And people don't like that because they have a traditional model of how things work, and they hate people who upset status quo. And I think both of us are upsetting status quo in a big way. And, it's tough, but it's fun.
To look at this issue of data. Let me tell you how I operate, and hopefully it might help someone. I used to pastor within Christian Church of God, Jesus and His Community. I was responsible for the purchase of that property at Cocoa House. We bought it for 42 million. And when I bought it, people thought I was going to use the front of the church for the church. I turned it into a banking, and I rented it out for 15 million. So imagine I bought something for 42 million, I got 15 million back immediately. You see how much the property now came to me. Although I had to rent it out for 15 million for 10 years, but it was quick money. And I also knew that the bank was going to pump in millions and renovating it, because banks like to write off tax. That's why banks don't own buildings, because they can write off their rent as tax. But buildings, they have to pay ground rent, and they have to pay government. So they spent 15 million, renovated it beautifully. You know what I mean? Why? That's because I'm a businessman in my orientation. So my approach to my church was to do that same mentality. What we were actually going to turn the second part into a fast food supermarket. We were in talks with Mr. Biggs and what name of the other one? Tantalizers to come open a branch in front of our church, because we knew they will also bring us not only customers, they bring us potential souls. But we're going to make it legal. Then the church was now at the back. Because people come to church, don't care whether you're at the back or in front. You don't join the church because it's in front or at the back. Am I right? And we will take air condition the church and all that. You're going to be proud of us in the church after you get past Mr. Biggs. And you won't know that we owned it. If I had still been there, I would have put a bridge across to the mall that's on the other side. So that would have been one continuous mall. That's the way I think as a businessman. But I also have that same approach in how do I want my services to look at. I hate being bored. So we used to have Sunday school. I turned mine to coffee break, where people can communicate, we give you coffee, sandwiches, and all that. Because I get bored. So we used to do first service, Sunday school, second service. And I get tired. But what if we drank a little bit of tea and had lunch and had biscuits? Won't you be happier people? They're happier people after we take a cup of tea. That was the only breakfast they could have. because someone's not coming to work as workers. You know what that expanded that particular platform. But the most important thing for me was what were the things that were disappointing me? No two services have to be the same because I would get bored. Even the first and second services, I won't allow you to reach the same person. So our first service is designed to go after business people. It's called Real Success Seminar. So we teach about business principles, very little, beating you over the head with the Bible, just extracting from the Bible business principles. Some people will just come for that and go. There's some boys who used to sell recharge cards at MTN Road there. They'll come for that service and go and start selling their recharge cards because they need to earn daily income. So they could only make 1 hour recharge. They'll leave. And at 9 to 9:30, we have coffee break. One of them will spend coffee break so they can have something to eat. And then they'll go to do their business. Some of them people will come in at 9:30. And to be a totally different service in a totally different direction, because I'm also thinking about the person who sat for the first service and has just had coffee, not teaching the same thing in the second service. So what am I doing? I am using me as a customer. I don't know if you get the point. So eventually I started attracting people like me, like the things I liked. I don't know if you get the something. You can bring that same concept to here in your business. One thing I hate is wait. So in this office, we pay bills on Tuesday. We do a budget on Tuesday and release funds on Tuesday. No client is allowed to come here and tell him to wait. Because I hate wait. I don't know if you get the point I make. I hate wait. I like things to double check. So we have systems. You go to a generator, there are notes about switch this up before you do this, before you do that, before you do this. They don't follow it, but it's there until I find the right person who will enforce it. You know what I mean? Because if they make a mistake, they can't say they didn't know because the instruction is there. So if you refuse to follow the instruction, that's your business. So you're already at fault. I outsource my security services because my own security men were stealing from me. So I outsource my security services. Anything that gets missing, the security services is debited from their account. It's slightly more, but it's safe. I also take I take insurance, fire and burglary, because there's nothing you can do about that. You know what I'm saying? We've had 3 fires there. Thank God we were able to put all of them under control, but we lost this part of the building and we lost the studio. So the other fires were only put out very quickly. So we now have our own firefighting gadgets. And the 2 times we've had fire, we've used our own firefighting gadgets to fight them in-house. And simply because I had a pool and I went to Google it. How do somebody came from Lagos and said, each firefighting device will cost me 350,000. And I said, I won't discover whether that thing you sold me for 350,000 is working until the day there's a fire. But he won't listen to me. So I said, okay, no problem. And I wanted 2 here and 1 in my house because I was already lost my house in the fire. Yeah, so I'm the fire captain. The fire chief of this city. So I said, okay, you know what? I Googled and I checked and I found out that if you have a swimming pool or you have the reservoir tank, especially in this night time, if you connect a simple water pump to a hose, you got your own firefighting device. Yes. Everything costs me 185,000. But 3 different firefighting services, hose, everything. You can see them there. One is there connected to global health to the base camp. Now we have a pool, so we even have the bigger source of water to put out any fire. You can even come and put out in your house. But the point I'm trying to make is everything I do, I tell it from my perspective. But the disadvantage of that is that if you're not like me, you don't appreciate what I do. But it's the price I'm willing to pay because I think in my heart that we will all see the advantage of this type of thinking. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. I'm making the shift. There's a gentleman called, I've forgotten his name. He's the Canadian hockey player. He's the best in the world. They had to retire his jersey. Nobody uses his jersey number. That's how successful he was. So they asked him, how did you become so successful? He said, most hockey players, in hockey, they use something called a puck, not a ball. It's a cylindrical thing, but it's not spherical. It's cylindrical, but it's round. But it's just a small, they use a puck because of the ice. And he said, most good hockey players run to where the puck is. I run to where the puck is going. So in other words, when everybody else is chasing the pork, he goes to position himself when he knows the pork will come eventually. And by then, nobody can defend him and stop his shot. That's how he became successful. So I've learned that in my life, may not concern you. I try to go to where people are coming to meet me. You know what I mean? Because I know this is what they need. And so I want to be ready before they get there. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. I don't want to be changing with them. For instance, my insurance, I pay them monthly. Look at how do you do that? How many of you know when your insurance is due, especially your car, if you have a brand new car, you have to pay 300,000, 500,000 insurance. Do you know how embarrassing it is for you not to have 500,000? It means you are driving around for 2 or 3 months without insurance. Am I right? Or your house insurance. Am I making sense? So I said, no, I can't do that because you come and meet me that insurance is due. And you know, most insurance people, they forget to give you notices. Insurance is due 3 months' time. Your insurance is due 6 months' time. They don't tell you all that. And then we all have bad habits of savings in Nigeria. So I called the insurance company and said, hey, how much is my insurance? He said, 250,000. I said, okay, I'll pay you 250,000. Right? And from now on, I'll be giving you 20,000 every month. So by the time next year comes, I've already paid you 240. So I'll continue to pay you 2020 for the rest of it. And I will always be 1 year. Some of you are nodding your head. What do you do with your network cards? Those of you who have meters. Don't you have to recharge it and put it in? But the minute you put it in, you have no more unit on the card. Don't you fill it up? Huh? Do you wait until light goes before you go to fill it up? That's what I'm doing. I'm simply filling my card. I don't know if you get my point. I simply fill up your card and keep it ready. Then when NEPA goes, you put it inside, then you put it back and you go and fill it again. While there's still something in the tank. Am I making sense? Because it may happen at 12 midnight on Saturday. And NEPA office doesn't open on Sunday. So you will be without power till Monday. And those people can give you a queue. We've stayed in NEPA office for 6 hours before, just to pay our NEPA bill. Yeah. My driver will go at 8 o'clock, we'll come back to 4. There was a time they had problems with their equipment. And they wouldn't let him pay more than 10,000. So you will go and pay 10,000 and load it in, give him, go back and go and pay another 10,000. So what I'm saying is, I'm just saying that's one way to take business. You know what I mean? But that's business from me. But there's business for other people who don't care about all those things. The people who don't care. I'm sorry. There's some people who don't care. They don't care about class. They don't care about quality. They don't care about anything. All they want is image. I learned that the hard way when I first built this place. I built a low-cost event center, only to find out that the people who wanted to do events were interested in flamboyant, not low-cost. They want people to say, I'm a waiting to buy for 5 million. They don't care, even if you spent only 2 million. They want people to think they spent 10, so that they will make them feel as if they were big men. That was my biggest mistake when I built this place. I didn't take those people into consideration. So I abandoned them as my customer. And I'm cutting the new place, so I do summits, and because you don't care whether I have nice draperies or I have hanging cities with chandeliers. You care about all that. You came to learn, you don't care whether whether I have yeah. If they are chandeliers, you have learned anymore. No. So I shifted my business from those people. They are no longer my target. I'm actually to place New Streams Conference and Cotton New Streams Wedding Center. We just moved away from that area and carved the niche market for ourselves so that we can develop that market to wherever. Now I'm going to add arts, the culture part. I was talking to you about. I want to bring drama, plays, you know what I mean, exhibition, so that people can come here every day and have something to do and eat and drink and watch football. All right? Yes. Yeah. No, I'm saying my business. This is my business. This is where I am. This is what kind of people I want to. This is the kind of people I want to reach. My people like me. NYC brought 1,000 students here. I did a partnership with them. They didn't pay me. I brought them in here to do an event. to train them. They stole people's phones. They robbed the damaged equipment. You don't know what it feels like when you spend 5 million on the screen and somebody almost falls the screen down. How will you say, I'm not the loser? This screen will better for 500 million. You can't get today for more than 5. You can't get them for less than 9 or 10 million because of the exchange rate. Then some student will now be playing around on the stage and falling down. Are you getting on? He doesn't see any value in what I'm doing. Are you getting the point already? He also cannot afford my home. He's a topper. It's not even him that's able to afford my home. It's his parents. You don't unless it's the 419. But it's not the one that's afford my home, it's his parents. So the mistake is to think that I am marketing to him. He's not my market. It's his parents who can afford to write a check for me for 1.2 million that I'm after. I don't know if you get my point. So I market to them. Now, if I want to market to the masses, it will be a different. I won't have digital screens and PowerPoint. I won't do that. I won't have blackboards in the field outside with tents. You know what I mean? I'm saying that market is that market. This market is this market. I was just trying to show you that you can be your own client as well, especially when your clients are soft. Give me an example. Richard Branson. He wanted to travel. He got to the airport. His flight was cancelled. There were 20 other people in the place who were traveling to the same place, and they canceled their flight. No explanation, no hotel, no refund. He went to the nearest place and said, "I want to charter a plane." He told how much? He told him the amount. He counted the number of people in the hall who wanted to travel. He went and divided it and said, "Okay, guys, I can get a plane in the next 1 hour to take us to the same airport." Now the airline was going to charge you $150. I have to charge you $250 because I'm charging. Are you ready to go? You want to go back home? They all paid him the $250. He chartered the aircraft. They all got there. And he started the airline because they were meeting his need. He wanted an airline that was responsive. You know what I mean? And that's how. If you've ever listened, if you ever have an opportunity, travel British Airways and then travel Virgin Atlantic, you will see the difference, not just in the way they serve you at the airport. For instance, Virgin Atlantic, the counters are going to open at 6 o'clock in the evening, they open at 5. So that when you arrive, there's no queue. British Airways, they won't open until 6:05. So there'll be queues. One of them understands customer service, the other one doesn't. On the plane, you have French, black, green, yellow hostesses, male, female, from different countries, speaking, struggling English with you on the plane. Meanwhile, British Airways, yeah, what can I do for you? Two different companies. He knows who he was targeting. And today, oh, you need to see Virgin America, the best airline in America. There's no business that guy has gone into, from music to whatever, that he doesn't go and turn the whole thing upside down, but it is to his taste. That's the point I'm trying to make. And that's for his own class of people. But he also makes cheap products and services for the lower class. But there's no fanciful packaging. You know what I mean, and all that stuff. And he knows who he's dealing with. So I'm saying, don't cut yourself out as a client. You know what I mean? Because you best understand that market. And you know the frustrations you go through. Why does everybody like Uber and Bolt? When I used to travel to England, you have to take tube. You know now. You take tube. Climb down tube, run on the rail, try to catch a train, stand if there's no seat. I'm getting old, I'm 60. Now I be running down the tube, and then Uber comes. I want to go from here to here. I can pick up my phone. I don't have to tell the man anything. Just press the button, tell him where I'm going. He drops me there. No cash exchange now. Then we now discover something interesting. When we went to Dubai, it happened. When we are 10 in the car, they will share the same cost by the 10. So in other words, a bus ticket would have cost each one of us £4 for a day pass. That's £40. But on the same car would have cost me alone maybe £20 to get to the place. But if we're 10 in the bus, it's the same £20. So we found out at the end of the day, if we are many, 3, 4, especially as a family, it was cheaper to travel by Uber. So I'm just saying, these things are just meant to make things convenient for people. People pay for convenience. People pay for convenience. Listen, I don't know. There's okay. Let me give you one. I know. How many of you like going to Ghana? They treat you like there's nowhere to park. They treat you as if you came to steal.
Yes.
Somebody's always following you around.
Yes.
You collect something, you order for something, they'll give you a piece of paper, you go and pay somewhere, and then you not come back and wait for them to pay your food for you. But you go to help. Help us one and a half times the price of dollar, sometimes twice. I would rather go to Health Plus, where I'll be treated like a decent human being and buy my drugs and go home. Know that I'll be treated like a human being, and their drugs are labeled with prices, so they're not cheating. It's the same price they offer me, they offer some. That's they tell you what the price is. So they can be cheating you on the moon.
Yeah.
Now, this is the problem. 99% of the people will prefer to go to Ghana because to save 500 naira is more important to them than the insult that they are getting from the Ghana staff.
Yeah.
Only 10% would want to go to Health Plus. So the only way Health Plus can continue that service is to increase the margin. You remember what he spoke about? Was to increase their margin in order to be able to offer that service. Dynax has to reduce its margin, and in order to do that, they have to stop you from stealing from them. So the shops have evolved as a matter of the market that they are used to dealing with. Somebody will come in and quickly take something from the shop and put it in their pocket. I won't do that in Health Plus. I don't know if you get my point. So Dynax is adapted to its customers with its low prices and security system. Health Plus is less conscious about security, you know what I mean? And they have better margins. Nothing wrong with the two shops. They're serving two different markets. But there will come a time where you will find something in Health Plus and you will still have to go to Dynax. Then you send somebody. And you don't go yourself. I don't know if you get the point I'm trying to make. Because my assistant doesn't care whether it's Dynax or Health Plus. Because those things about somebody following him around doesn't bother him. It bothers me. Yeah, hotel. Yeah. Very expensive. I'm telling you, a night. Yeah, a night. That's the rent in the bank for a year.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll pay.
Yes.
They'll pay. They'll pay.
Yes.
I stayed in a 75,000 naira a night room in Lagos. I couldn't sleep. I was counting the 75,000 naira. It was the church that put me there for 2 days. And I thought, oh God, if they're giving me a I know what I would have done with it. 75,000 on Lekki, on that beach road near that new one that doesn't belong to Tinubu. I don't think it does. You know, that overseas land. I went to see a family, told them about the room. They followed me back and slept there. There were enough rooms and food and drinks without changing it. I'm serious. The family followed me. They didn't take pajamas. We all just sat down in the sitting room. We're just having fun until we slept off. 5 o'clock in the morning, they left. I just sat there and went to eat my breakfast downstairs. Even though I wasn't hungry. But I said, oh, believe me, my wife does that sometimes when she wants to spoil herself. Just a very good hotel, just to get away. You know, but people like us who are born in India, who go with 10 you know, so, but that's, everybody's different. That's the point of life. I mean, what about cars? People are driving cars that can build a bungalow and it's driving all over it. And doesn't have a house. You should go to Mushi and see that very often. There'll be a brand new Lexus Jeep in somebody's rented apartment in Magodo. Lexus that will buy the whole street. It's not your job to judge anyone. It's to offer them what they are looking for. The people have come to our hall and said, this hall is too cheap.
Are you hearing?
There's a hall in Lagos, 5 million per night. 5 million. They don't even negotiate. You don't go there and say, I want, can I pay? They won't even say. 5M. There's another one 10M. The one I collected, the whole is 10 million a day. And you must still buy their food and drink. Huh? Yeah, they know they're not there. And they're always fully booked. All the big artists. It's a status symbol. Yeah. And those people will sell a table for that event for 500,000. So they're not stupid. Can you imagine 4 of you here paying 500,000 for this table? They'll give you food and drinks, but you know that food and drink cannot be more than 100,000. They will take it 400,000. By the time they do 10, 20 tables, they pay for it. The rest is profit for them. It's what you put in. Yeah. Huh? The hotel. Oh, yeah. These are super cheap Chinese tires. You go to their tires, they're already shining. Those tires are like 10 times the price. They're workmanship, the air conditioning. You won't see it when you finish. You know, the toilets, oh my God. You can sleep there. The smell, everything. Toilet roll. You know, like if you go to Lagos Airport, when you enter the toilet in Lagos Airport, after you've gone through immigration, they will roll the toilet roll for you like this and give you. Because Nigerians steal toilet roll at the airport. They're talking now, they're stealing toilet roll. But it's not really true. It's actually those who work at the airport that steal it. So what they do at the airports there is that they roll it for you like so that they can conserve the toilet roll they give. In those hotels, they will pile up toilet if you like, steal up. Before you come back 1 hour's time, they replace it. So it's the service. They just opened one again, the Marriott or something. They opened one. Yeah. That's about 150, 200,000. And it's don't forget they're paying in dollars, they're not paying here. Some of them don't collect money in naira. It's mostly tourism abroad, but it's Nigerians from abroad coming home. Okay. But some things you get, for instance, most of you don't know that somebody like Atiku, for instance, is school in the north. It's guarded by American Marine officers. Those hotels are the security services that are there. It's only when trouble comes you see how well armed and protected you are staying there. So if you stay in a hotel that's charging you 100,000, and you want to stay in one that's selling you 12,000. And you wake up in the morning, your passport is lost. And somebody came to shoot you in the evening, then you know that it was the wrong hotel. So you got to kind of, you got to kind of just your paying. But when you go to a restaurant, it's not the same rice. It's not the same meals. It's not something we do. No, you're paying for the atmosphere. You're paying for the service. And that's what you should always realize. It's not the individual products, it's how you put everything together that makes people pay you. Hotels, yeah. And you can't blame them, they can kidnap him. And he'll be the one that will go for people like Mr. who work for MTN and all these people, will tell you something. MTN can put you in 100,000 naira a night room. Or MTN, but they will never give you 100,000. It's the company will pay whatever it takes to look after you, but not give you the money. So some of them look at it, I mean, somebody has stayed in the hotel for almost a year, paying almost 50,000 a day, and they will never give you the penny out of it. And the company will pay. Because they can write it off as tax, as cost, until they will not even get tax. But if they give you the money, it's not income. So there's different ways of looking at it. I mean, banks will never buy a deal. And yet it's cheaper for a bank to buy a deal. So it's because we are still small businesses. And that's why we still look at things with very limited scope. If somebody comes here and says, I want to demolish everything here, I want to build something. What are you going to say? No! I spent 200,000 million. Sorry. I'm sorry, but knocking everything down. Can we keep? No! Everything goes. Starting again. He has done his projections, he has overtaken everything you are doing, and he has seen his profit. So he does. Everything. Yeah. But it's always long term. They thought 10 years, 20 years ahead. And the cocoa house should have been pulled down and rebuilt. The shouldn't have been there. It has never retained this value. Give it to me. It's not empty, but it's full of ragamuffins. No floors coordinated, not only the ground that is coordinated on the floor. They should have pulled the building down. Nobody has looked at cocoa the same way this. It's lost its value since that. Not a fix. Fix it. Yes. It's the other way around, sir. It's the other way around. I'll send you material on you understand this, right? I'll send you. It's the other way around. When you start your business, start from big. They tell you, okay, I'm a Christian, you know this affects my thinking. The Bible says that God starts where? God starts from the end. Before you start making anything. Don't start your company where it is. Start your company where it's going to go. If you listen to Oyedepo, he will tell you something like, we were a global, worldwide outreach when we were less than 20. Your mindset, the way you answer your phone, the quality of your letterhead, the systems you're putting in place, start acting like the company you want to be. IBM did it. I was sending part of material I want to send. IBM did it. They said, listen, what kind Apple did it? What kind of company do we want to be? We want to be very classy. So, for instance, they'll tell you things like, we don't want too many colors, one font on our design, no 20 fonts. The Nigerian poster has 25 fonts. You don't know which one to reach first. And 50 colors. They already define, go to the company you want to be like. Start copying them from that place. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. If this is the size of your office, it's your office. You know what I would do? I'll put a digital screen here. Okumbo, I won't buy you. Then I'll be projecting buildings in the background so that everybody comes. But you can even if that's that small office. I will do such artistic architectural thing with this small place that you will know that if you give me a bigger space, you will see what I can do with it. I don't know if you get it, but I will say, wait, I got to marry the office bag, no, that's what we always do. We always postpone what we're going to do. We always say, and like, no, it's where you are. Start there. I will do it when you enter. You say, how did you manage to get this out of this space? It's showing your potential. My letterhead will be like the company I want to be like. Whether it's American, I will copy their letterhead what to do. The invoice. That's how my invoice will look. My catalog, I will do it. I won't print it on digital. No, there's no cost in digital. Now, if I have a customer that wants me to print it, I will go to the nearest direct printer that's charging 100 naira per page. Print only his own, bind it, send it. Start acting the way you are. You will grow there. But if you think, you're an architect, if you want to build a 10-story building, what kind of foundation do you build? So this, you do part foundation for what? For 10 stories. But you don't have 10 stories on it. Why did you build? Why don't you put 1 story foundation? And when you have more money, come back again. When you have more money, come back again, and then put another foundation. You won't do that. So you build the foundation for the building you want, even though you don't have more than 1 floor. The foundation must be built to carry what you want to accomplish. You can't come back to the foundation to say, I want to build. That's the mistake we make. We don't have systems. Somebody pays you money in the account. You don't email an invoice to him. It's not automated. Somebody sends you a message. You take 6 hours to respond. You don't even do ordinary automated reply. There's nobody in the office right now who will get back to you at 8 a.m. in the morning. However, if it's urgent, can you call this alternative number? You don't even do that. Now, if you were a big successful company, would you have done that? Yes, you do it from scratch. Every customer is responded to by a human being. And then every customer must be treated with the same respect, whether he's buying or he's not buying. You can't say, I'm not for invoice. No, do the same work. But we wait. We say, when I get to the space, I will do this. You are lying. You will never do it. So you do it from your foundation. When we were publishing, I used to publish a bulletin. Some of you won't believe it. Jesus is 30-something years old. 1985, I think it was. I've been publishing a bulletin since 1985, every Sunday. Can you believe that? I've been publishing a bulletin for over 30 years, every Sunday. People will read my bulletin. I think we were a beach. They will arrive and say, is this small church that published this big bulletin? The idea was I wasn't standing where we were, I was standing where we were going. And the bulletin hasn't changed. It has improved in terms of quality of presentation and my architectural and my design abilities have scaled up a little bit. And you know why it's easier now? Because I can Google my articles long before I need them. I know my theme, I Google my articles, I select them, and somebody just arranges them on my template and publishes them. So somebody will read it and say, after 25,000 people there. 400. You get the point I'm making, but I'm hoping that one day we'll be 10,000. I don't know if you get the point, but I'm not going to start writing the bulletin when we're 10,000. That's a waste of time. So please start where you are. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go find people who have done it before. I'm supposed to be somewhere at 5. So please start next week. I'm going to see how many people I can bring together, so that we can work on you one by one. You know what? Sit down with you, talk to you, what specific actions we need to take. So it's not to generalize. I'm going to try to call back as many as speakers as possible to come and sit with us, or new ones to come and sit with us, so that we can work with you. What are your plans? You need to talk to us. You need to come and talk. We are going to be talking next week. We'll have a small meeting that we're going to bombard you with questions. I'm going to tell you the truth to your face. You know what? I just tell you, Mr. He said, anytime he doesn't want to give me money, he's going to bring the business. I used to do it the other way around. I go to a church and I would say, how many of you here will say that, why haven't you started the business? I don't have any working capital. I would say, okay, if you can go to your car right now or go on your phone and submit a business plan, how much do you need? 150,000. I'll give it to you. If you can give me a business plan, I am always sure, 99.99% sure they don't have a business. So I've never had to give anybody anything. Meanwhile, I don't have the 150 to give them, but I'm so confident that they will have a business. Don't be caught unawares. Be ready, because you can do nothing about opportunity. But success is opportunity meeting preparation. But you can do everything about preparation. You have to come next. I don't care how skeletal your whatever. You know what? Yes, yeah. How you're going to start or recover or review, or you know what I mean? Come next week with something. We're going to come out here. We're going to attack you. We're going to tell you that we don't think that's going to work, and you're able to defend yourself. Now you don't have to agree with us, but you must be able to answer the question. So I sent you people bullets and broke it, right? Most people say, Pastor, you write too much on your book. I said, no, I answered the questions you are going to ask me before you come. You say, why? Because that's the way I think. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. Somebody said, I should have done only one pre-conference so that I can make myself. I make my money before I start the conference. In other words, I go to raise money for the conference. The conference is not my source of revenue. I don't know if you get the from that. It's the aftermath that I will get my revenue from. You know what I mean? But the most important thing is that I must answer the questions that my investors are going to ask. I must answer the questions that the people who are going to attend the conference are going to ask. I must answer the questions the partners are going to ask. I must also deal with the expectations of both sides. So those are things you do. You think and prepare ahead. So when somebody comes, and guess what happened? When I submitted the last one, this last one that I just did for this particular 2021 conference, somebody called me out of the blue and said, did you do this yourself? I said, yes. He said, they're looking for, somebody wants you to produce this for them. I said, you know what? I can't offer it to them as lead. because I'm Pastor Francis Mabujo. It doesn't all go well. I will do it through one of my companies. He said, not only that, please send us all the other ones we've done. I said, no problem, that one is plenty. Like one of the body to chat with. I have to do other activities in the one the head person. He knows how to chat. So I have to do other to chat with them. You know what I mean?